Good afternoon, guys. Today I would like to speak on the homelessness crisis here in Central Florida. As of January of 2018, the United States Council of Homelessness stated that Florida had an estimate of 31,000 homelessness. That's across the state of Florida on any given day. As reported by the U.S. Department of Urban Housing Development, which is also known as HUD, continues to report that the homelessness affects households, students. It gave a little statistics on it, and it said anywhere from 2,700 were family households were homeless, whereas 1,800 were young adults, 2,500 were veterans. This is on any given day here in Florida. The U.S. Department of Education shows that in the school year of 2016 to 2017, anywhere from 72,000 students in public schools were homeless and still attending school. I don't know how they did it, but they did. Myself, in 2008, was homeless as well. I had a close friend that allowed me to crash on the couch a couple of nights till I made better accommodations. It was right down the road from a job I was currently working, so it was beneficial as well as a blessing at the same time. Homelessness is an incredibly complex issue that impacts both those experiencing homelessness and the entire community. Today I would like to define and explain the problems we see here in Central Florida with homelessness. Understanding the cause gives us a little more understanding of a solution that we can put into place. I will follow up with some strong solutions to this reoccurring matter within our community here in Central Florida. Oh, there we go. I don't want to waste time on this, so I'm just going to do it by hand. Defining homelessness and the problems we see within Central Florida. Online, the Cornell Law School of Legal Information Institute defines and reads, as I quote, "Homelessness is defined by an individual or family who lacks a fixed or regular or an adequate housing, nighttime residency." Cornell Law School also defines homelessness as an individual or family without a primary nighttime residency that is a public or private place not designed for or ordinarily used as a regular sleeping accommodation for human beings. A few problems we see to come about with homelessness here in Central Florida are some of our key problems, which are the homeless camps we see developing within our cities, the fluctuating crime rates due to people having lack of access to things they need when they are homeless, and panhandling. We have just general panhandling, and then you have aggressive panhandling that you can be arrested for. Aggressive panhandling is defined by Wikipedia as a legal term for unlawful forms of public begging. Back in 2017, the Orange County Sheriff, John Meadham, told Channel 9's Eyewitness News' Phil Sutton that he, and I quote, "You can be arrested for aggressive panhandling, but this is not something we can arrest your way out of this situation." Sheriff Meadham went on to say, "Let's face it, people have been begging for money for centuries now. Homelessness affects everyone within the community, not just the homeless themselves." Now, after being able to understand homelessness and define the problems we see within our community, I would like to discuss the top 3 causes of homelessness. The Central Florida Commission on Homelessness and nonprofit organization focused on helping the homeless here in Central Florida. Many of the contributing factors to our homelessness crisis are unemployment, loss of income, and even low wages. All of these financial factors play one of the biggest downfalls in our local homelessness. Did you know that benefit.gov states that a maximum unemployment benefit for anyone to receive can earn only $275 a week, and that the maximum time for someone to collect those unemployment benefits is capped out at 26 weeks? The lack of affordable housing creates a real hardship for our homeless. Florida Housing Coalition CEO Jamie Ross says almost 1 million people are very low income households that pay more than half of their income, that they have, just because they're homeless doesn't mean they have a job. So there's a percentage of homelessness people that still work, but being that they have to make ends meet, they have to buy their food. A lot of them don't have accommodations to fix something that they can eat for multiple nights. They eat and they move so they can find a dry place to stay, a warm place to stay. Mr. Ross states that 1 million people who are very low income households pay more than half of their income that they have for their housing arrangements. So this means that they are really only one crisis away from homelessness, if not already affected by homelessness. Also, one small mistake with a family finance can cause someone to become homeless. Florida House Homelessness Statistics states that most common stereotypes for homelessness population is thought to be those of becoming or being alcoholics or drug abusers. For many, homeless and substance abuse co-occurs with the help of mental illness as a way to cope with their current living arrangements, with many of these causing and creating a domino effect within their lives. The mission to end homelessness here in Central Florida begins with the funds. Everything's about money. We do have places in Central Florida where you can sleep, where you can get some food, but just recently, in February of 2009, there is something that was presented to the state Congress, which is Ending Homelessness Act of 2019, which will provide it's a provided plan where it is, I believe, close to $35 million put into place, and this bill will generate millions of dollars, but it is federally funded and our states have to apply. Therefore, as a community, we have to push our state Congress to apply so we can get the money here within our state to help our homeless. This bill will generate over $5 million granted to states and jurisdictions for outreach funding and homelessness. These funds are made available to our state and we can apply for the funds. As a community, we need to come together and put forth a better effort in planning a positive and life-changing outreach. We can give somebody the food, we can give somebody a place to stay, but if we don't give them the resources to better themselves or an education to better themselves, chances are of them becoming homeless are high. Here in Central Florida, homelessness has been frowned upon because the homeless will gather in groups like in downtown Orlando or downtown Fort Lauderdale. Business people don't want to see that. They're thinking, oh, we have so-and-so of a higher authority coming, and they don't want to see the homelessness sleeping on their street. So then for the law is called, and they are assumed to be aggressively panhandling when really they're trying to do is lay down, sleep, eat, and kind of stay out of the way. In conclusion, homelessness does not just affect the person experiencing homelessness. It impacts everyone within our community. After defining and explaining homelessness and the problems we see here in Central Florida, we as a community, state, and a nation need to come together financially, physically, and put an end to homelessness. With pinpointing a core solution, homelessness, it can really be ended, and we can really put a stop to it within our community and within our state and within our nation. As long as we put our good foot forward and apply for funds and get the funds here in Central Florida, we can end homelessness. Thank you.